We just need to make sure you do the start time and end time for the public hearing.
Okay.
He is.
I'll wait for a few minutes. Okay. And we just needed, what was the one time?
Starting time and end time to the public hearing.
Start time and end time when we do the public hearing section.
Thank you.
The public hearing, order to approve people who submitted something prior, correct?
Yeah. Um, it's okay, we have a quorum.
All it's needed are is 6:04 AM. Roll call, please.
Planning Commissioner Steve Smith.
Here.
Planning Commissioner Jim Adams.
Here.
Planning Commissioner Greg Hearn.
Here.
Planning Commissioner Mr. Morrow. And Miss Sandra Davis called in earlier to let us know she wasn't doing too well and she wouldn't be here tonight.
All right, thank you, please. pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Now, if we could take a few minutes of moments of silence. I'd like to honor my mother-in-law, Maria Gonzalez, who passed away this morning, age 94. For those of you who knew her, keep her in your prayers, thoughts, and you know this is very powerful. We had a chance to read the minutes from last meeting. And the corrections of Daniel's meeting. Or if we turn entertain a motion for the meeting to be passed. I make a motion. Minutes, motion then accepted. With the minutes from last meeting. You said it, all fair sale. Thank you. Hearing starts at 6:07 p.m. for Park Estates plat variance request. Now is that somebody there representing?
I believe the applicant may be online, but the orders typically, I'll present my staff report. Then the applicants allowed to speak, and then those in favor, and then those opposed are given the opportunity to say their piece.
Well, if we don't. Won't we need somebody here to?
I believe they're online.
Oh, they are.
Jesus.
Okay.
My name is Byron Gums. I work with the Yakima Valley Conference of Governments. I am the City of Mapleton's contract planner and prepared the staff report for this variant request. To give a little bit of can you hear me without the microphone? Okay. To give a little bit of history to this, the Parker Estates subdivision was originally platted in 2021 and approved as Scarlet Estates. And in the staff report for that subdivision, one of the conditions of approval was that if the developer would like to forego the development of alleyways within that subdivision, they would have to come back to the variance process. Typically, you would combine the variance request along with the subdivision, so it would be one process that moves through at one time. For whatever reason, that was not done with this case. So this is the meeting and the hearing and the process that we're having for the developer request that there not be alleyway developed as part of this subdivision. So just a little bit of background. It's a 35 lot subdivision. As I mentioned, it was approved in 2021. The zoning for the property is mixed use commercial residential. That's also what the future land use map designation is, which is part of the comprehensive plan. When the variance is applied for separately than the plat, the way that the Mapleton Municipal Code outlines that process is that it follows the same process that the plat originally would. So we have this hearing tonight in front of the Planning Commission, and then there will be a future hearing. notice was sent out, in October. No written comments were received from adjoining property owners or agencies within the comment period. Of course, tonight, November 20th, is our open record public hearing. And the future meeting is, to be determined, likely within the next, 2 to 3 weeks or so. With the holidays, some of the scheduling could be a little bit different than it normally would be. When considering a variance, there are a number of criteria that are needing to be met, and I'll go through those and read them for the record. One is that special conditions and circumstances exist which are peculiar to the land involved and which are not applicable to other lands in the same area. My finding for that is the proposed reduction in standards is unique and that the preliminary plat that shows the lack of alleyways has already been reviewed and approved. In addition, the proposed lot sizes are the minimum allowed, with a new public road proposed in lieu of alleyways. Much of the surrounding area west of Sixth Street is developed with alleyways. However, development east of Sixth Street, such as this proposed subdivision, it has been built without alleyways. And if you look at some of the aerial imagery, you can see where development has occurred where it would make alleyways not feasible. They would end up going through homes at this point in time. So requiring the alleyways would not be consistent with development patterns in the area. Second criteria is that literal interpretation of the provision of the title would deprive the applicant of rights commonly enjoyed by other properties in the same area under the terms of this title. The requirement of alleyways does not deprive rights commonly enjoyed by nearby properties. C, that the special conditions and circumstances do not result from the actions of the applicant. The location of the property and existing development patterns are not due to the actions of the applicant. The development that's been there obviously preceded this proposed subdivision and subsequent development of the subdivision. That the hardship is not self-inflicted, which it is not. That granting the variance requested will not confer on the applicant any special privilege that is denied by this title to other lands in the same area. And the design allowing for alleyways to be waived does not create special privilege for the developers. That financial gain is not the ground or grounds for the variance. And it is not in this instance. It's the way that the development along with the engineering proposed the land to meet the code requirements of the Mattoon Municipal Code with minimum lot sizes in the zoning district. That the variance will not nullify the intent and purpose of the comprehensive plan, zoning ordinance, or this title referring to the subdivision ordinance. The staff finding is that not requiring construction of alleyways does not nullify the purpose of either the comp plan, zoning ordinance, or the subdivision ordinance. Those documents, the comprehensive plan sets forth the goals and the policies that are then implemented through the development standards and the zoning ordinance and subdivision ordinance. And those goals and policies are still being met. The design standards are generally being met, with the exception of the request to waive alleyway requirements. Finally, that's the criteria. And then the last note under the variance section is that in granting the variance, the city council may require such condition as well. In its judgment, substantially secure the objectives of the standards or requirements to vary or modified. And because this has already been through the subdivision process with requirements that design standards be met, road improvements be made, water and sewer extended and so forth, that through the variance process, there were no additional conditions necessary to meet the intent of the city of Mattoon codes. So the staff report recommends approval of the requested variance to allow the subdivision to move forward. If you recall the recent subdivision that we processed, Genoa's Paradise and New Beginnings, they both went through the variance process to remove alleyways from those subdivisions, and those variances were approved. So likewise, there's a recommendation that this variance be recommended for approval at the city council. For conditions, I just have that because the project has the underlying subdivision approval, that the timelines outlined in that subdivision approval still would apply to this project. And that concludes my staff report.
Well, I know that the one subdivision that we worked on I think the last meeting, that we told them they could do it without an alley.
Correct.
Now, it says that this is, it sort of said that this is the new norm, I guess, because this plot right next to it doesn't have an alley. But everything to the west of it, which is the old town, they have alley.
Correct.
And you wanna do this without an alley?
Yes. Well, that's what the developer's proposing.
Yeah, they put an alleyway in there, they wouldn't be able to subdivide at all because they wouldn't meet minimum requirements for lot size.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Well, minimum,
Well, they could, but it would require a completely different plat and proposed subdivision, but the subdivision, the uniqueness here is that the subdivision's already been approved. About the alleyways, but the process wasn't gone through the way the alleyway requirements.
okay. Now, on this, I'm looking at this right here. This is a new road right here, isn't
Yes, sir.
is that gonna be paved? or-
Yes.
Okay, now I'm still looking at that thing. What is the blue pipe? Is that water or sewer?
Water.
Okay, and then the black pipe with the sewer,
Yes, sir.
and those little indications in the blue pipe must then be hydrants.
Yes.
Now, is there currently this water line down here on Ellison Road? Is that in place?
I'm sorry.
This water line on Ellison Road, is that there now, or is that when you put in?
I believe that would, to be honest, I'm not 100% sure. The lines here show what's proposed. I don't know if the dash lines are what's existing, so it may be that water would be placed within the roadway. It does look like, yeah, but based off of how I'm interpreting this, is that there is a new water line that would be placed in Allison Road. But the subdivision's already been approved, and they'll need to extend water and sewer according to the developer guidelines.
The subdivision is approved, that, property subdivision to the east, to the south. Right here. It's probably approved, but that's basically empty, isn't it? All of it. No, there's a few houses in there. The proposed place too. Oh, the proposed, I know that, yeah, completely. Mhm.
And I believe there's sidewalks that will be built as well. I don't recall all the specific design standards. Because it's a 2021 decision, but I know that the developer has been working with Gray and Osborne on the standards that they would need to meet, as well as depth of the sewer and water lines and so forth.
It'd be nice to see one of these developers found some nails, you know,
I think the engineering for Genoa's Paradise has been submitted and is being reviewed, so we're getting closer. So subdivisions are a two-step process typically, and granted, that's not what we're here to talk about tonight, but between the initial approval of a subdivision and them getting all the work done in order to sell the residual lot to build on them, developers are given 5 years to do that because there's so much work that needs to be done.
when we look at the way mountain plotted out in most of the towns. There's not, what is the purpose of the alleyways?
That used to be, that's where the utilities would run, is down through the alleyways and they weren't put in the city streets. Standard practice anymore is that the water and the sewer are put in the streets. And the alleyways aren't being used as, where the people have their garages and things like that anymore. So it's just the trend of development has gone away from.
And then these yards were backed up to each other, isn't it?
Yes,
And that is the minimum lot size.
it's 4,000 square feet.
Square feet is each lot?
Yes.
Why is lot three so funky?
It's got the big old 100 foot by
I
30
think
foot.
that's just how the original parcel is laid out. It has that dog leg to it, so they're moving that dog leg on that lot.
So that would be the, whoever gets that lot, owns that. The complete piece.
Yes.
Lot number 35?
3.
No, number 3. On the left hand side. Oh, yeah.
Can I say something or you have to wait until?
Are you done?
Yes.
Come on up, please, and state your name and your address, please.
I'm Blanca Saldua. I live on 513 6th Street. And south and 6th. And on here. The lot that's right underneath lot 3 and 4. And so that little piece that is going out. With the length maybe of a car. And it's always been right there, they show it bigger. But it's a car can fit maybe, but most of the time it's been on the other side of the neighbors' home. They've been taking care of it for decades. And so when I saw this and it's like, then how can they put in 35 homes in this lot? It looks really big, but it's really not. And the roads, Ken, Napton, our water and our sewers handle. Because right now we're paying to the yin yang on city water. To even just our own water. And also our sewer and garbage. And just imagining to add more to that, you can't even handle what we have now.
Well,
Is our rates gonna go up?
I think the sewer system can handle that. There is some problem with the water, but the city is working on that.
Who said that, Jim?
What?
Who said that?
Well, they dug a test well,
Yeah, we got a test well on behind the trees.
and I don't know if they
Yeah,
did.
but I don't think that one came out as good as we thought it was gonna come out.
It didn't work out.
If I may, the subdivision's already been approved.
Uh-huh.
But, so it's. Matins has seen a number of subdivisions within the last year or two. There were 2 preliminary plats that were approved that will create 53 lots. And then this is going to add 35 to that. During the review process of those other subdivisions, City of Matins' current water capacity is 130 new connections. And then there's been some single family development, a couple of duplexes and things like that. But based on the engineering numbers, there is adequate water supply as well as sewer capacity for these new homes.
Because that's, in the past, when they have, had anything going up. Our rates have gone up. Instead of, maybe lower because there's more people, more money coming in. And so that's a work. For us that are here living for decades. And the other thing is. All this area is considered irrigation. Since the day I've been living in my home, almost 40 years. No drop of irrigation, but we have to pay for it, all of us. And now when these new homes come in, are they gonna pay irrigation? And they say irrigation because he don't get a drop. And the last time that I asked, even some of the owners of next door have asked, they go, okay, you can go bring it from that field. Talking over here, somewhere, in this area. You can bring it to your house. And I go, okay, who's gonna give us the permission to dig a straight line from wherever it's at to our home? Nobody. And so that's another question of, are we gonna still be paying irrigation?
You know, I think that.
But none of us,
People have that problem.
and
There's
we
a lot
don't.
of land that pay for irrigation
Uh-huh.
and they don't get water.
And what can we do as homeowners? Because every year it goes up, but there's no drop of water that goes to these areas. And all these homes that are right here, these new developments, are they gonna pay irrigation? And are they gonna be able to get irrigation, but the rest of us down here and down here, we can't get a drop of irrigation? But we have to pay for it.
Who are you guys with, SBID or you guys with,
I'm a homeowner, I live right here.
as far as irrigation goes, do you know who it's with?
It's, I think it's the same one, the Sunnyside irrigation that we paid here in Sunnyside.
SBID?
I don't know what it's
Who
called,
it would be?
but they're the only ones that we were able to talk to, and that's what they said. You want irrigation, go dig it up from over there. I go, okay, I'm not a,
Yeah,
how can I get it from over there to my house and some of our neighbors? We're not gonna be able to dig through the road or through the land.
he would know, he's on irrigation. He's going over that here.
I don't have anything good to say about SBID.
Yeah.
This was designed and put in 50
Yes.
years ago.
Mhm.
Back when it was only.
More than that, probably.
They've gotten so much trouble because of all the development. They can't finish it. That's a fight that needs to be taken to them. But
I don't know, it's long before I came. So well more than 50 years.
Yeah, no, yeah, a lot more than 50 years, I think.
Because it's either SBID or it's Rosa. It's one of the two.
it's SBID.
Yeah, those are the only two water suppliers here that we.
But the problem is that has to be taken up with SGID. As far as this goes,
Yeah.
this has already been approved. And, talking about irrigation or anything
Yeah.
else now is. It's too late, it's already been done. But I understand your problem and
Yeah.
everybody has the same problem. But SCID is not prepared to take care of it. They don't have the money, they don't have. To be able to put irrigation to all of these, but that's the way the tax laws are written and that's gonna continue for some period of time. It's not right, but it's there.
So, the other thing that,
There's nothing you can do.
oh, yeah, I know.
Nothing you can
And
do.
it's like, maybe you guys knew if.
And you're not
anything was
alone. There's a
gonna
lot of
happen.
people have the same problem. They don't have irrigation, but there's nothing you can do.
Well, that's part of the issue. People need to come together and speak up. Because right now. it
But
seems-
all I'm
it seems to
trying
me-
to say is, I agree with you 100%, but this is not the meeting to do it. This has already been approved. It's a done deal. We can not like it all night long, but it's not gonna change a thing.
Right now they have. Anything else?
No, just, that's one worry of is our rates that we're already paying now, are they gonna go higher because of all these new
Well,
homes coming in?
I don't think that the city would be, what we don't have anything to do with.
Okay,
But I think the city is who you'd have to talk to.
The developer is responsible for installing the water and sewer lines to serve the development, so those costs wouldn't be borne by the city, so that wouldn't be passed along to the ratepayers at all. It appears as though there's an irrigation line in Allison Road, but it looks like it stops between lots 11 and 18. And if it's something where there may be interest from other property owners that can speak with the developer about extending some of those irrigation lines in the right of way of easements or something like that. But that would need to be a private conversation between the developer and the other property owners to agree to the extension of any of those other utilities and things like that. So I took a quick look and I don't see where irrigation is addressed in the development standards. Water and sewer, of course, are, because those are something that the city provides to the
Yeah.
property owners, or they're responsible. Or the purveyors of those utilities, but irrigation would be through the irrigation district, so that's something.
But yeah, another kind of going.
But there, I mean, if the developer is gonna be digging trenches for utilities for this anyways, now's the time to come be developing this and see some cost savings potentially. But that's something that, again, that the city would not necessarily be party to that, I'm aware of.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, okay.
We no longer have irrigation.
Well, you just have to pay for them. Okay, yeah, thank you.
But, your name and address.
Ruben Olivares. 211 North Second Avenue. I think what needs to happen, this is my own personal opinion, because I've been pretty involved in council meetings and stuff, and my personal opinion is that there's a lot of misinformation going on. I think there needs to be an open forum so that the community is well aware of what's going on, because everything that people hear is all hearsay. It ain't coming directly from the contractors, it ain't coming directly from the developers, it ain't coming directly from anybody other than word of mouth. So I would suggest have an open forum meeting. Invite the community, so if they have any questions, those questions can be answered.
That's what this is supposed to be.
Well, yeah,
Everybody within 300 feet of that area, all those people received a letter from the same as she did, and so they know what's coming up. They know what the possibilities are, so they have the right to come to this public meeting
mhm.
or to, when you're on the council, to the council's public meeting. That would be their forum.
Yeah, because I wasn't aware of this at all. I'm aware of the one by the grade school, I'm aware of the one by the Catholic diocese. I'm aware of the one by Denise's house, but I wasn't aware of this. I didn't know this until today that I came.
This happened, 2021.
Yeah.
The first one that was.
Yeah, and not only that, but this meeting, I don't even think it was advertised nowhere, because I saw it on Facebook.
It's been in the Sunnyside Sun the last 2 weeks. The last 2 weeks, as advertising of public notice. No, everybody doesn't get it. That's our particular. Mapp's particular way of
And-
announcing meetings. And same with city, they'll be same with city council meetings. Through the Sunnyside.
Sun and the website,
Huh?
and the website,
Right now that-
I tend to
and our,
think we need-
and our city website.
Yeah, and city website.
On there.
I got the letter.
Yes.
It was really hard to understand.
Okay.
And I had to read it several times, and it was only in English, because there's families that are Spanish speaking.
Mhm.
And I was having a hard time, and the only thing I got, there was a meeting. I'm coming from Yakima, because I work over there and come over here to see what's going on. Because I couldn't understand much of the letter. It was very too technical, put it that way, to the average folk to understand about zoning and what it is and what's not.
Unfortunately, that's the type of letter that they say that.
Exactly, and so it's
Unfortunately.
kind of like, okay, how, like you're saying, how can we understand what is involved or what's gonna happen?
That's when you come to this.
And like you said, or we were saying, not everybody got it.
When you want to continue. Do you have anything else for that?
Wait, things are gonna have to be brought up to par, because after the new year, there's gonna be a new mayor. I don't know if she's aware of what's going on. I don't know if anybody from the city's keeping in touch with her. I kind of doubt it. But these are very important things that should be brought up. And that's why I'm saying the lack of communication is not on the people that are coming into office. It's on the people that are already there that should be sending this information out to the public, whether it's by mail, by letter, by whatever. It should be They should be sending it out. And because Mapton is 90%, 95, 98% Hispanic. It should be in both languages, English and Spanish. Why they would just do it in English, knowing that 3/4 of Mapton are probably not even speaking people. It's beyond me. I don't understand.
Let me, we just started to have these meetings on a regular basis. We went years without a meeting. Probably one meeting a year or something. But before we get this information, it's supposed to go through the city council.
Well, evidently, a lot of it hasn't been, my understanding.
Council wouldn't see this until after the planning commission makes. a
We-
recommendation.
Okay, you get it after us then.
Yeah, because they're not even aware of this.
And they wouldn't be.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. If if things are gonna be, if there's, you know what, I don't have a problem with infrastructure, I really don't. I mean, I wish Mapton was a lot bigger than it is. I wish we had more stores here, I wish we had a lot of things. But, you know, unfortunately, we don't. Infrastructure will bring in a lot of revenue into Mapton, which is great. But we all gotta be on the same page. You know, when plans are being brought up, future plans, I think the community deserves to know what those plans are before the plans are finalized and approved and they're ready to go. We're gonna break ground next week. And the community don't know nothing about it. That's unfortunate because I don't think that's right. You know, so whenever these plans are coming up, why isn't the community involved? Why don't the people that are in charge of these developments inform the people?
Let me say something here.
Right.
The three of us and the two, we've been on this planning commission for over 20 years. And they can't find anybody to come in to be a part of it,
As far as what?
part of the planning commission.
So,
you know, it's just,
Let me say this.
oh, to listen in on what you guys are talking about and kind of spread the word, or
no,
what do you mean?
to be.
Part of the board, part of the,
Planning committee, nobody wants to do
Greg, let me say something in support of you, and maybe I can help you understand. You are one of the only people who come down and get involved, okay? This was a public meeting. Where is 20, 30, 50 people? You said they weren't informed. They were informed. It was in the newspaper. They sent letters. We do everything we can, but people don't come. We can't get them on the planning commission meeting. So my question to you would be, I understand and I agree with you that we should have more community involvement, and that's what we want, and that's why we're here. How would you suggest we get the people to come? How would you suggest that we notify them of this? This happened years ago. How would you suggest? We send letters, we send the newspaper.
Well, I think, I'll tell you this,
I don't know.
and
the
this is
answer.
coming from me. I don't speak for nobody but myself, okay? So I myself, I feel like I'm an advocate for the people of this town. Because people are afraid to speak up. Why, I don't know, I don't understand it. I can't figure out why.
it. By your being now part of the council.
Yes,
You can address some of these things
yes,
to the mayor and the council. And it's not, fortunately, that's not our responsibility.
you see, that's what I was gonna say, Mr. Hurd.
We, you know, we advertise what's necessary. And everybody within, you know, that all the way around receive letters, and unfortunately, if they don't, you know, if they don't.
Yes,
You're not everyday letters, that's just what they're required to send out. Correct?
There's a standard that's required to reach out to the community, and that's notification of joining properties within 300 feet, get direct mail. And then depending on the proposal, sometimes there's a notice that that's put on the property, like a sign that says there's a public hearing here, and then it's placed in the local newspaper. And that's the reasonable attempt to communicate to the community that there's this proposed action.
okay,
You have a great opportunity now moving to work with your council, and maybe get some things that will better inform the community. That our responsibility is to go through these proposals and either accept or deny the proposal is. We can't make people come in. You know that,
Yeah,
you know that, you
No,
can't make them come in.
no,
So we're just, you know, we do what is possible for us to do with the announcements in the website, whatever not. And that's what we are required to do, correct? That's what we're required to do.
And nobody wants to take our place.
We can't go to every household and say, hey, you know, they.
Ruben, what, you know, now that you're officially on the council, why don't you sort of be a liaison between us and the city?
that's what I'm saying.
Well,
I'm gonna try my hardest and do whatever I can
well, it started.
with, you know, within myself to get people to get more involved. Because this affects everybody. It don't just affect me, it affects everybody. You know, you have projects like this that are gonna be going up, great. People need to understand that this is affecting their property value too. You know, so if you wanna get, you know, you wanna get on in the game, you need to pay attention to what's going on. And I think that's what residents need to do. They need to listen, pay attention, and be present. And I'll do whatever it takes to try to get more people involved and have people speak up for themselves. Yeah.
I just wanna caution you that this isn't the forum for it, but
Mhm.
being a new council member. There are requirements where you're not allowed to be speaking to the applicants or neighbors or anything like that.
Okay.
You need to make unbiased decisions based on the record.
Yes.
That's created, so I just wanna caution you about creating, it's called appearance of fairness doctrine.
Okay, no, you see, those are things that I need to learn,
Right.
you know, because I don't wanna speak out of turn and then it come back and bite me in the butt.
We have somebody else that wants it.
But that's where I stand, and yes, like I said, I'm gonna try my hardest to get people to get more involved and, I myself want to be on top of these things too. Just because in that, you know. No, thank you.
He has translation problem and we appreciate that.
I'm not certified as a translator, but I will do my best to transition over them.
Mr. Ernst, are you guys planning on retiring or what?
We have,
Do
we
you guys-
have no choice but to continue because nobody wants to do it.
Okay.
We have, be willing to translate for me.
Mi nombre es Gustavo Arias, I live in 519 Fair Street. A mí no nada me afecta de lo que van a construir, pero lo único que yo veo injusto es que van a meter calle nueva, todo eso se mira bien, pero va a ser la calle igual de ancho como las calles viejas que existen, o van a ser más angostitas. Veo que van a dar vuelta todo aquí, pero van a llegar nomás hasta este punto. ¿Qué pasa con de aquí hasta las 6? Okay.
So his concern, he has no problem with the construction of it all being made and all being created. His concern is on the roadway that's going to be constructed on Fern Street. It shows that the road developments are going to be moved up until the end of lot 27 and the abiding home there. What's going to happen with the remainder of the street that begins there, you meets over the intersection of Fern and 6th.
That it's not required to be improved because they're only required to improve where there's subdivision.
So no es para ellos que lo mejoren porque solo tienen que arreglar y mejorar las áreas donde ellos van a construir, que sería la provincia. Y por esas calles sí van a poder.
¿Y por qué la ciudad les da permiso de construir y no terminar una calle? O sea, esta calle va a estar bonita, ancha, todo lo que sea aquí, y de aquí hasta las 6 va a seguir siendo como un callejón.
His question is, why does the city allow them to construct and improve the street up to that section, but not the rest of that remaining spot?
Well, that's another thing that's up for the city.
Well, he has to, he's gonna make improvements for his particular subdivision, correct?
Right, and there,
Solamente lo que le pertenece a él.
Sí.
De su propiedad y que eso le mantenga ahí. Eso me lo que la propiedad de la propiedad.
Eso es lo que debe la ciudad. Entonces, si la ciudad, me imagino, si la ciudad da permiso para que esto fluya, es para que la ciudad ya tuviera un plan para que ellos terminaran de aquí hasta aquí. Si no, es para que no dieran permiso de construir.
I believe
Es mi
that
opinión.
the city should not have given permission to construct this road, and for that, if the city did not have a plan in place to continue improving the section that's on, I don't wanna say undeveloped, because it is developed, but the section that's not going to be constructed a new road, that's his opinion.
Yeah. It says he just has to do, for his subdivision.
Gracias.
Or maybe Mr. Johnson is. Address.
He's done. He's on.
Mr. Manson, go ahead, please.
Yeah, I'm Ben Matson. I'm the owner and applicant developer of this project. I guess I bought the project with it already approved for development. And I just was told,
Hey,
can you guys hear me? Can you hear me?
We can hear you, Ben.
Okay,
ahead.
so yeah, so I guess we're just applying for the variance for the alleyway to eliminate the alleyways because that's the way this project is designed, and it seems like it works the best without alleyways. Like I say, this project I had bought it after it was already approved the way it's designed right now, and I didn't change none of the design. Just going through the process of all my steps, and then this next one was the variance application.
You answer questions about the water, how are you gonna water is doing that?
What's that?
You address the question, how you gonna get water and sewer to this subdivision?
The water and sewer will be extended down the new streets. There's currently water and sewer in South Street. We're going to run it through the new road, through the development, and then along Allison Road. And we're still and then down Fern Street will be a new sewer main also. Probably a new water main in Fern. We're still looking into that. There's currently a water there because other people have water, but we're not sure if it's adequate size yet. But if it needs to be upgraded, we're going to upgrade it.
Excellent, thank you. Any questions from Commission, sir?
Are you going to have the water and the sewer go to the property lines of these yards?
The water and sewer mains will run in the street, and then they'll stub into each lot.
And where will the developer end their responsibility, at the property line?
At the property line. So I'll be putting in all the main lines, but from the property line, basically I deed all the main lines over to the city. And then from the property line into the lot, that's the landowner's responsibility.
Okay, that's what I mean, though. But you're gonna get it to the property line,
Correct.
okay?
Where the meters gonna be at? Where are the meters gonna be located at, in front of the house,
Where what?
the water meters?
Water meter.
The water meters will be per city code, and the design, they usually go right at the property line.
Mhm.
Just like they are now.
Yes.
So yeah, we're currently in design with Harms Engineering, and they have all the city standard details, and but this was our next step, is getting this variance application through for the eliminating the alleyways, and then we'll continue up all the engineering and get it submitted for approval.
How close are you?
What's that?
How close are you to start construction?
I'm
So,
I'm hoping to start construction this spring.
excellent.
And then there was a question, I heard someone talk about irrigation. We are in contact with the Sunnyside Valley Irrigation District right now. We're waiting for feedback from them on if we're going to be able to run irrigation to these lots. They do have a gravity line running down Allison Road, and we're in contact with them if we're going to be able to hook onto that and pressurize it and get irrigation into these lots, but we don't know yet.
That'd be a good idea.
Okay. Anything else? Yeah, team members.
I think we're probably gonna pass this. And frankly, we have passed them before, but we are absolutely setting a precedent for any new development to not have an out.
It's already been set.
Yeah,
And
We've already done it.
yeah, but we find,
well, and previously the Catholic Charity subdivision didn't have alleyways. That's up there above Stillstad and George and
okay,
City avenues by New Beginnings. That development, for whatever reason, and anyone who were processing New Beginnings and Genoa Paradise, those were really the first subdivisions of this scale that didn't have alleyways that were under my tenure in being in this role. And I was looking for that Catholic Charity subdivision decision and their justification for waiving the alleyway requirements. And I don't know where that record is. It's from the 90s, I want to say.
yeah, but I remember ever having. They were more problematic than they were beneficial, quite frankly, to the neighborhood.
Right, and during the periodic review, the comp plan, zoning ordinance, subdivision stuff that we're working on as part of that multi-year project, we're looking at changing the subdivision standards so alleyways aren't going to be a requirement moving forward, because it has been problematic.
There were certain designs where they were beneficial, but what we've been looking at lately, no. You know, as far as access, emergency access and all of that, no. And they're not used for infrastructure now, so they're used for parked cars and other things.
I see how every lot's going to have access to a street except for lot 3.
You can access off the 6th Street. That's the public road frontage that has.
Is that gonna be in an alley?
No, you private road driveway.
Oh, okay, they're alone, go ahead, what's there?
But they spoken to
That's what
the
that little piece
homeowners
is.
because
Long
that's
driveway.
what's taken care of them, that's the way it is.
That'd be a discussion to, you know, pick it here with, but it's not their property.
And there's a light pole right there with, there's a whole cable being held to it.
I don't know those details, sorry.
Yeah, because there's a cable that goes right in the middle of the front of this, it will be entrance for this home that's right there. There's a cable that would happen for that home that's there, would have to be removed and reattached somewhere else for those light poles not to collapse.
Yeah, that cable is on an old pole that is abandoned, and that pole's going to be coming out. The power company put in a new pole right next to it that does not have a cable on it. That's just a guide wire to hold that old pole up, but that old pole's getting abandoned.
You have anything else to add, Sid?
No, I think that covers it.
Thank you for your time, ma'am. We appreciate it. We hope we can get started in the spring.
I plan to.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to,
We need to close the hearing.
close the, public hearing at, 6:55. I'll entertain a motion to accept the variance of this Parker Estates subdivision without alleys.
I make a motion that we recommend to the city council that we approve the variance.
Okay, second. Move to second that, we, look forward to the city council to accept the variance without alleys.
Congratulations.
Any additional business to come? Oh, we still got this whole thing that critical areas,
I can make it quick if you like and just kind of give the 5 cent discussion on it and answer questions. A couple
it sounds like adoption is gonna be our best bet because we have very little critical areas.
Right, so as part of the growth management act, I printed out 2 copies, so let's do this. So this is the existing critical areas ordinance. And this is the critical areas update checklist that staff filled out. So as part of the periodic update, we're required every 10 years to go through all of the changes that have been made to the Growth Management Act.
We've got,
Oh, okay.
there's 4 books back to that.
Okay, all the changes that have been made to the Growth Management Act. So we look at all of the different things for.
You guys need anything else from me, or we good there?
The Parker's Estates portion is finished.
Thank you,
Yeah.
good sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
So, looking at the different components of it, one of the requirements is that the city have a critical areas ordinance. This most recent legislative session, the legislature passed a law that allows cities under 25,000 people in population to adopt Yakima County or the county critical area ordinance by reference as amended. So what that means is that the city of Mapleton would use all of the development standards from the county's critical areas ordinance. And they wouldn't have to go through the update itself. It would just be whatever the county has in place. Because there's a lot of science that changes. There's a review, it's called Best Applicable Science. And it's things like one of the things that has recently changed is stream buffer widths are they used to be based on what the streams were classified as, and now they're based on how tall a tree can grow over a certain number of years or fall down. That's the width of the buffer. So all the jurisdictions need to go in and update their critical areas ordinance to reflect that and make sure that all those kind of protections are in place. And if you adopt the county's responsible for doing all of that work. And we just use everything that they've done, so we don't need to reinvent the wheel.
Because we don't have very many critical areas.
Right.
Are there any reasons why they wouldn't want to adopt Yakima?
If you don't agree with how they do it.
I don't agree with anything, but
But basically, yeah, if there's
it's better
policy,
than reinventing the wheel.
right,
But
yes,
there's nothing unique about Mapleton that we should be aware of that would be an issue
no, sir, I'm.
specific to Mapleton.
So we're performing this update, doing the work for 8 different jurisdictions. And I'm recommending that all of them adopt it by reference.
I'm on your side.
Because in the 3.5 years that I've been in this role, there have been, I believe, 2 or 3 critical areas permits that I've worked with. 2 of them have been in medium gap, 1 of them has been in some. None of the other jurisdictions have any real conflicts with critical areas that isn't already going to be addressed with the building code, like if you're in the floodplain. It simplifies things. What it does do is it does trigger the need to have an agreement with the county on just. How that's going to look, there's the interlocal agreement, it's something that. Will cross in the future, but at this point, what I would like from the planning commission is if. Whether or not you would recommend that the city adopt the counties by reference. Because ultimately it's city council decision. And I would like to get the recommendation for it in front of city council so we can start taking action on it. So the conversation with the county can take place, we have everything in place. Because we have a deadline of about this time next year is when the comp plan, all ordinances all need to be updated.
So we're not the final authority.
Correct.
Okay, I make a motion that we accept that. Does it?
Great clarity right here, Mr. Records. Second, or second? Second, all in favor, say aye. Okay.
Thank you.
You're adopting that feeling. Anything else? One thing, Nathan? Yeah. We adjourn at 7:02. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Guys, back to the